Lately, your anxiety feels different, heavier, harder to shake, like your nervous system forgot how to turn off. You go to bed with your mind racing, you wake up feeling tense, and somewhere in the middle of the day, a wave of dread hits you, and you can't explain why. You've tried to fix it, you've exercised, you've cut back on caffeine, maybe you've even tried medication, but something keeps pulling you back under. Here's the truth. Your anxiety isn't getting worse because you're weaker. It's getting worse because something biological is shifting in your brain and body, and nobody has explained what it is or why it's happening. In this video, I'm going to clarify exactly why anxiety might escalate over time. I'll explain the real reasons and reveal what actually makes a difference when nothing else has helped. Hi, I'm Dr. Air, quadruple board certified psychiatrist and anxiety expert. Your nervous system is like a bucket. Every day, stress adds to your bucket. Work tension, poor sleep, money worries, traffic, and more all contribute. A healthy system has a drain. Stress fills the bucket but also drains out. You recover, reset, and return to calm. But here's what I see happening in so many of my patients. The drain gets clogged. Stress keeps filling the bucket, but nothing drains out. Eventually, it overflows. When this happens, your brain crosses a threshold leading to persistent, confusing anxiety. This isn't weakness. This is a nervous system that has exceeded its capacity. The question is, what's clogging the drain? And in a moment, I'll show you the three most common culprits I see. One of them is going to surprise you. Let's shift to a common misconception. Most people think about stress as the big events, the divorce, the health scare, the job loss. But your nervous system doesn't only respond to the dramatic moments, it accumulates everything. Think about the person who has been running hard for a decade. High pressure career, raising kids, managing a sick parent, carrying financial stress, never fully recovering, never fully resting, just pushing through year after year. That kind of chronic invisible load does something very specific to the brain. It keeps cortisol, your main stress hormone, elevated for far too long. In small bursts, cortisol is your friend. It sharpens your focus. It gets you through hard moments. But when cortisol stays elevated for months or years, it starts to wear the brain down. It disrupts sleep. It increases inflammation. And it recalibrates your nervous system's threat detector, permanently raising the baseline of what normal feels like. Your brain, after years of sustained stress, literally learns to expect danger. And once that recalibration happens, even quiet moments can feel threatening. Even good days can feel wrong. I see this in a lot of midlife adults, but chronic stress rewires the nervous system at any age. The mechanism is the same for everyone. Now, it's important to highlight something that most psychiatrists never discuss. I want you to really take this in. Anxiety and inflammation are directly connected. When your body is inflamed from disrupted sleep, processed food, a gut that's out of balance, chronic stress, or metabolic instability, your immune system releases chemical signals, cytokines, and these cytokines travel to the brain. When your brain detects those signals, it does what it's designed to do. It shifts into threat mode. That response is anxiety. This is why people often feel their worst after a few nights of bad sleep, or after a period of eating poorly, or when they're physically run down. The anxiety they feel is not imaginary. It's a direct biological response to what's going on in your body. And there's more. Your gut produces about 90% of your serotonin, the neurotransmitter most people associate with mood and calm. When the gut is dysregulated, serotonin production drops. The gut-brain connection isn't a wellness buzzword. It's a direct physiological pathway. And when that pathway is disrupted, anxiety can worsen. Later, I'll explain exactly how blood sugar instability feeds this same cycle and why what you eat for breakfast can either calm your nervous system or keep it stuck on high alert. But first, let's talk about a patient I once saw in my clinic. I'll call her Sarah. She came to me at 51, successful, sharp, had been managing anxiety for years, but lately it had become unbearable. Early morning panic, constant dread. She couldn't identify a single reason for it. Her life, by every external measure, was good. She had been told it was menopause. She had been offered another medication, but she continued to struggle. When we looked deeper, the picture became clearer. Her sleep was fragmented. Her inflammation markers were elevated. Her cortisol rhythm had flattened, which meant her body was no longer distinguishing between day and night. And her blood sugar was crashing mid-morning. Her nervous system wasn't broken. It was responding rationally to 4 different biological signals all firing at once. We didn't add more medication. We fixed the sleep first. Then we addressed inflammation through nutrition and targeted supplements. We stabilized her blood sugar, and we worked on resetting her cortisol rhythm through light exposure and morning routine. 8 weeks later, she told me she finally felt like herself again. Not because we suppressed anxiety, but because we removed the inputs that were creating it. That's the difference between treating symptoms and treating causes. Let's pause and address sleep directly. This is not optional. Sleep is the most powerful nervous system reset tool that exists. During deep sleep, your brain clears inflammatory waste, your cortisol resets, your threat detection system recalibrates back toward calm. When sleep is disrupted, even mildly, the amygdala, the part of your brain that detects danger, becomes more reactive. You become biologically primed for threats, for anxiety. This is why anxiety and poor sleep form one of the most vicious cycles I see in my practice. Anxiety disrupts sleep, poor sleep worsens anxiety, each one feeds the other, and the cycle tightens. If sleep is part of your struggle, and for most people dealing with worsening anxiety, it is. I've put together a free sleep guide in the description below. It walks through the exact steps I use with my own patients to break the cycle. Download it, use it, share it. Because until sleep improves, every other intervention is working against the current. Here's something most people never connect to the anxiety: breakfast. What you eat first thing in the morning sets the biological tone for your entire day. When you start the day with something high in sugar, a muffin, a bowl of cereal, a flavored coffee drink, your blood sugar spikes fast. Then it crashes. And when it crashes, your body releases adrenaline to pull it back up. That adrenaline surge feels exactly like anxiety. Racing heart, tension, a sudden wave of unease, and most people have no idea their breakfast is contributing to this. Here's the fix. Aim for at least 30 grams of protein in your first meal of the day. Eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein shake, meat, whatever works for you. Protein slows digestion, keeps blood sugar stable, and prevents that mid-morning crash that quietly hijacks your nervous system before lunchtime. When your blood sugar stays steady, your brain stops sending out false alarms. The low-level anxiety that hums in the background, for many people it drops significantly just by changing what they eat first. This one shift costs nothing, but it changes the chemistry of your entire day. There's one more thing I need you to understand. Your nervous system is not broken. It's not failing. It is not a sign that something is permanently wrong with you. It is responding logically to real biological signals. Chronic stress load, elevated inflammation, disrupted sleep, hormonal shifts, blood sugar instability, gut dysregulation. These are not character flaws. They are measurable conditions. And measurable conditions can be changed. The brain is plastic. It rewires, it recovers, but only when you address the actual drivers, not just mask the symptoms. Medication has a place. I use it when it's needed, and it can be genuinely helpful. But the prescription alone does not drain the bucket. It does not reduce inflammation. It does not restore your cortisol rhythm or repair your gut. The main takeaway is this: real recovery comes from addressing the true causes of anxiety, not just treating the symptoms. The final piece is understanding what your nervous system needs to escape threat mode, how it stays stuck, and which specific changes signal safety. That's exactly what I cover in the next video. Watch it now.